Hello, hello, hello. Noodle time. Yep, and today it's not a Nissin noodle, it's from our friends at Sapporo Ichiban. Focus! Sapporo Ichiban. And this one is a different noodle. Soba, so a slightly darker noodle than usual. Soba is buckwheat to English speakers. Although this one, almost all soba noodles do also include wheat. So wheat and buckwheat here, not gluten-free. What is this? This is a shrimp soba. It's made with this fish dashi, which is like a sauce. And yeah, made it from like kind of domestic, is that bonito? Powder. It's good. It's just saying there's a lot of fish in here, essentially. A lot of fish. Nothing on the top. Nothing new on the top. So without further stalling for time, let's rend the packaging. Have a bit of a look, a bit of a closer look. Yep, not much more to say really. The picture looks rather appetizing. I'm assuming that's shrimp, maybe fried in this bonito powder. Got some spring onions maybe, and those weird like fish sticky, fish cakey things. Quite like them, but I don't know what they're made of, other than fish. I'm not going to read that. Gosh, it would take me a long time. Not on camera anyway, but basically, if you want to read that, there you go. I think it's just talking about when it was made, where, what ninben is. Yeah, who cares? We're here for the noodles, not the lore, the noodle lore, which is probably a very deep lore. Now that is interesting. Look at that. That's a very unique looking noodle, actually. I'm very happy with the look. Oh, and the smell. That's a good smell. It's just umami and salty and glorious and savory. Yeah, I know what that smells like. It smells a little bit like inari sushi, which I don't know if you've had them, but they're the fried tofu sushi. So maybe these things are fried in a similar fashion. But it smells, you've got a bit of sweetness there. It smells spiced, but not spicy. So I quite looking forward to tasting this and seeing how that manifests as a flavour. But yeah, it looks like all the ingredients are there from the picture. Interesting. Okay. I can't really report much more on the huff, other than, yeah, there's a slight sweetness to it. So, without further stalling for time, I'm going to make that. Yeah, let me describe the huff coming off of that. There's a slight fishiness in amongst the seasoning there, which I can't quite describe to you fully. But it's more of the same, really. There's still that sweetness. Not particularly spicy either. Let's put that on camera. So, as usual, the modus operandi of this channel is to review noodles in the sanctity of the profession of noodle reviews. That was a bit of a word soup. So we're not going to pimp the soup at all. Not going to pimp the noodle. Not going to add anything. Not going to take anything away. We're going to look at each individual part of the noodle and give it a rating: taste, texture, and tummy feel. Join me in a couple of minutes when the tasting will begin. 3 minutes have passed. Now it's time to eat the noodle. Let's give it a quick stir, first of all. Wow. Okay. As you can see, it's left a bit of a saucy residue on the side. That's quite good. The noodles are dark. They indeed look like soba noodles. But let's fish out one of the more substantial pieces and give it a go. Smells fishy. Yep. Those are shrimp. Ooh, very different texture-wise. It's slightly like eating paper, which I'm not too fond of. Flavour-wise, yep, it's shrimp. Not the nicest flavour, but weirdly, it's just pleasant. It's really difficult to describe. It's not like eating the cup noodle prawns or shrimp. It's definitely like it's got some crisp to it, despite being frozen in carbonite and reheated. It's very strange. I'm not a huge fan, but the taste is okay. Those things, standard. Yeah, they taste as they normally do. And the noodles, let's give them a go. Yeah. Different texture to the normal noodles. I can just about taste the Soba buckwheat there, but the sauce is a very pleasant flavour overall. So I'm going to finish this and let you know my thoughts. It's time for the verdict. And this is an interesting one. It's the first time Sapporo Ichiban has appeared on the channel, and I'd like to give them another go. For this, had some problems, but it had some good things. As ever, we'll start with taste. A solid 8. 8 for taste. This is for several reasons. The general flavour of the soup, of the noodles, of the ingredients was great. It was very nice. Not at all spicy, quite umami, quite multi-layered. So having just the soup by itself and allowing that to rest on your palate just did provide a depth of flavour that just eating the noodles did not. So it was a very interesting taste. It loses 2 points for the shrimp. Very just didn't really taste it much, if I'm honest. It felt like they should taste a little bit fried, but they didn't. Maybe that flavour soaked into the soup. I'm not so sure. Maybe it would be better if those are separate in the packet and could be placed on top rather than being lost in the soup itself. That loses 1 point, and the flavour of the soup, I think there was almost too much flavouring in, and it kind of became a bit grainy, and as you can see, there's a lot of residue there, and that knocked onto taste as well as texture, which we'll get onto now. For texture, it's a 7 from me. Noodles, excellent, you can't fault them. These things, they're processed in some way, they're fine. The vegetables actually crunched a bit, so that was great. But the soup was grainy, and these fried shrimp did disintegrate, so loses 3 points on texture. Also, the shrimp weren't to my taste. They felt, as I said earlier, they felt a bit like paper or maybe even a bit bony. I don't know. I know it's more common to eat small fish with bones and such, but shrimp have exoskeletons as far as I'm concerned. So I don't know what was going on there, but it was okay. It was okay. Right, and last, tummy feel. Well, soba noodles are better for you. They good for your blood pressure, I believe. As for the amount of ingredients in there, I don't feel like I was satiated. Satiated? I don't. My hunger was not destroyed. So I think, is this a first? The tummy feel is not a 10. I think it's an 8 for me. The variety of ingredients combined with the slightly graininess of the soup means that after eating it, I'm not feeling 100% satisfied. But, that's still a high score. I'll put the totals here, for I've already forgotten what I rated it. Yeah, I think this is one of the lower scoring ones, but ultimately it was nice, and I would like to try more from Sapporo Ichiban. If I remember rightly, the price point on this sucker was lower than a cup noodle. I think it was just over 100 yen. So, yeah, it's slightly cheaper noodle, and it shows. Oh no! Oh goodness! No, I bought this one. I don't know what this price is. Scratch that. I forgot what this price was. I bought this a long time ago. Well, there you are. Thanks for joining me on this review. Join me next time where we have a spicy noodle waiting. It's got pictures of 4 chilies. That's 4 times 1. Join us. Hey.